Scream 6 has proven that the Scream franchise doesn't necessarily need Sidney Prescott anymore. I'll just kind of get this out of the way. I am on Neve Campbell's side, 100%. She walked because she wanted more money, which she richly deserves. She has been the anchor of this franchise for 5 movies, and when she asked for more money for the 6th movie, they're like, nah, fuck you. So I do not blame her for walking out of the franchise. But yay, we get Courtney Cox back. I mean, yay? I don't know. I mean, it could have done without Courtney Cox. It really could have done without legacy characters in general. Now, Hayden Panettiere's Kirby, I can kind of see where she fits into the story. She's all of a sudden an FBI agent kind of out of nowhere, which is kind of weird. But it makes sense as to why she is there. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense to why Gail is there, because she lives in New York and she's still a reporter. But again, we do not need legacy characters anymore, because this entire franchise is now resting on the shoulders of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. Now, they were, without a doubt, standouts of Scream 5, which, in my opinion, was the best Scream movie since Scream. And Scream 6, I think, might even be better than number 5. Now, it is kind of the stereotypical Scream movie where it follows certain tropes and certain rules. They even bring that up, that this is no longer a sequel. It's not a requel. It's not a sequel to the requel. They bring it up, the fact that this is a franchise and that the rules are now out the window and there's new rules. And they change it up with how people die, because, you know, for the most part in Scream movies, people die by being stabbed. But here we get a little bit more. We get a shotgun, as seen in the trailers. People fall from high structures. And yes, most people die from being stabbed with a knife, but they changed it up a teeny tiny bit. Now, what I kind of liked most about Scream 6 is that they really recognize that this is not just a sequel. This is a part of a franchise, a huge franchise, and we see that in the shrine. Now, the shrine is brought up and briefly shown in the trailer, but all we really see are all the Ghostface cloaks. Now, what this shrine is, it's really more of a museum about Woodsboro. Not only are there the cloaks, but there's the original masks of the original killers. There's the knives that they used to kill people. There's the clothing that people wore when they died. Like, this is like a serial killer's dream room. And at the same time, it's really fucking cool. Now, how do they go about the killer? Well, they kind of stuck with the same formula in that it was kind of like for revenge. You know, we've seen that before in the Scream movies, that, you know, someone is killing out of revenge for somebody else that died in one of the previous movies. Who are they seeking revenge for? Gotta go see the movie to find out. I'm not going to spoil it. But they do change it up to the fact that there are actually 3 killers. And for the most part in this franchise, there's been 2 killers, 2 Ghostface, with the exception of Scream 3. There was only 1 killer. But everything else, 1, 2, 4, 5, 2 killers. Here, 3. And I like that because they changed it up. This is very, very much a Scream movie, but they also changed it up enough where it can stand on its own. At the end of the day, Scream 6, you know, this franchise is getting better. Because obviously the first movie, absolute classic, but it started to go downhill, with the second one being okay, the third one not being great, the fourth one being very, very disappointing, but then the 5th one going back up, and the 6th one even higher. It's like it took the death of Wes Craven to get better. And I know that sounds absolutely terrible, because, you know, I'm a huge fan of Wes Craven. I love his movies. The man is one of the absolute masters of the horror genre, but the franchise got better when he unfortunately passed away. And even as I say that, I fucking hate myself for saying it, but it's weirdly true. You know, Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, they're both absolutely amazing. Ortega is becoming an absolute Scream queen. She's becoming a horror queen. She is like the top person, in my opinion, when it comes to horror. She has been everywhere over the last like 2 years, and I fucking love it. But anyway, this movie, it turns the franchise upside down. It gets bigger, it gets badder, and it gets more fun. Like, this movie is fun. There's also very inappropriate humor, but you know, you're laughing. It's fucking funny. Changing things up is the absolute best thing to happen to the Scream franchise. And while I don't really see a point in Scream 7, if they make another one, I won't complain. As long as Jenna Ortega is in it and they kind of keep the same beats as the last two, 5 and 6, because it's just, they're doing something right now. Now, I am going to take away a couple of points just because the motives are kind of the same as one of the other movies, like revenge, 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 gotta get revenge. You know, we've seen it before, but it's still getting a high grade. I give Scream 6 an A-. Did you enjoy the review? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified when more reviews go live. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss your thoughts on the movie or show, and I will see you next time.